These are your notes for database filters. First, we're going to start off just talking about the navigation buttons that are located at the bottom of your datasheet view. And if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that you have an arrow. It's a line with a left arrow. This means that it'll take you to the first record. The one that is not showing right here is just an arrow by itself. That'll take you to the previous record. In other words, the first one will take you up here. The other ones will just move you through these as previous. If you click the next record, it's going to take you down to each record. This symbol here will take you to the last. Where it says current record box, it says 1 of 18. It lets you know that you're at the first one out of 18 records. It lets you know how many of them. You can also see there's a filter indicator here. If there was a filter showing, then it would show you what that there is a filter. And also, if you needed to search, you could type what you needed to search for, an entry or record that you needed to search for. Now, how to add a new record. Databases are a little bit different. You can't just do insert record. It is always located at the very bottom. It's the last record. You can insert a new one. The little asterisk over here lets you know that that is the record that is selected, but you would just type your information in here and have to move it later. Wildcards. This is used in find and replace, and you can use find and replace to find any data within the database. Now, wildcards are used if you need to find multiple words. If you use a question mark in between it, only for it to replace one letter. For example, right here you have B question mark T, which means it's going to find bat, bet, bit, but, anything just one character in between the B and the T. But if you use an asterisk in between them, it can, when it says a string of characters, that means multiple characters. So if M asterisk T, that means you could find Matt, which is just one letter, but you could also find moment, which are many different characters in between them. So that is the difference between an asterisk and using a question mark when we're dealing with wildcards. Sorting. Now, sorting, you either do an ascending or descending order. Ascending order means A to Z, or 1 through 10, smallest to largest, shortest to tallest. Descending is the opposite. It's the Z to A, the highest number to the lowest number, the oldest person to the youngest, or the tallest person to the shortest. Those are just some examples of sorting. Another sort that you can have when you have to do a multiple sort, you have a primary sort, which is your first sort, what you're looking for. This is called your outermost sort, and a secondary sort is known as your innermost sort. So if you're sorting by last names, first you want to know all the people with the last name, and then you want to sort their first names alphabetically with that. Well, your last name would be the outermost field, which is your primary sort, because it has to find those first, and then it would sort the first names in order, and that would be your innermost field. When you use filters, some good filters, what they do is they look for certain criteria to find your records for you, but it's looking through for criteria. Some advantages of it is that you can use it pretty easy. It is fast, but you cannot. Disadvantages would be you cannot save it, and everything is, all of the fields show up regardless of if you need them or not. Some of the different types of filters we're going to look at is filter by form, filter by selection, excluding selection, which means it does not include it, or advanced filters. And we'll look at all these in depth later. One way to filter is when you go to the field, you right click on the field. You can see that you can sort them ascending or descending order. Also, you have all of these. This is a text filter. All of the product names have a check beside them. If I wanted to filter for just Colombian, then I would remove the checks from all the rest of them and just have a check beside Colombian coffee, and it would bring up just Colombian coffee. Besides your text filter, you can see that you have equals, does not equal, begins with, does not. If it wanted to find all the coffees that begin with a C, then you would go to begins with and type a C. Another way you can filter is you can click on your filter icon up here. To filter, we're going to look at selection, filter, and advanced later. When you do filter, then your filter icon will show up letting you know that that field has been filtered. To if you see the toggle button here, you can click on the toggle to get rid of the filter, or you could just go back and recheck everything. You have filter by selection. You have your selection tab or command. When you click on that, you could say this one has dates in here, so you could either do equals and it looks for exactly, it does not equal it, which would be like excludes it, on or before that date, or on and after that date. Then you have your advanced filters, and your advanced filters, this is where you can clear all your filters, but we have filter by form, which means you would type it in there. We'll just have to look at these later, but you have filter by form and you have advanced filters, and when we go over these, that'll make a little bit more sense to you.